Hi, my name is Juliet Kellogg, and I'm interested in the restaurant outreach position at Zero Cater. So, what is my greatest accomplishment? I would say that it was when I was a sophomore in college. I decided to go for a year abroad in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I applied as a freshman, just kind of on a whim, thinking I already speak Spanish. What is the easiest language that I can pick up? And I came up with the idea to take a Portuguese class. And as a freshman, I applied to study abroad for the year, which I feel like most people go abroad their third or fourth year. So I was 20 years old when I went to Rio de Janeiro. I took a little class, like I mentioned, but totally didn't know the language. I could barely order an orange juice without getting confused or misunderstood. Um, and actually was thinking about just doing the 6 months when I got there and took awesome classes, all in Portuguese, along Brazilian students. And the accomplishment of just landing in a country and taking upper division courses, marketing, design, anthropology. Um, wow, I had textbooks in another language and feel like I had trouble reading textbooks in English. So, um, all that experience of diving full fledged into Portuguese and to another culture, not coming with any friends, that was wonderful for me. And not only that, but I got to learn about myself and what I like to do. So I'm not the most artsy person in the world, but I found a nonprofit organization called Theolinos, and their trademark was trade your weapon for a paintbrush because it was in one of the largest slums, or the largest slum in Brazil, called Rocinha. And these are shanty towns, and they're filled with violence and drug lords and literally AK-47s around you. Um, and a lot of kids get into drug trafficking. And I made a friend actually from Rocinha. That's how this came about, and he was willing to show me. A lot of the tourists had ventured off into there for these underground parties, but I'd never been and felt comfortable since I made a friend from the neighborhood. And he took me on a tour to check out the nonprofits, and there was one about art. So I'm not artsy, but I started teaching art there once a week. And I just look up the projects online since I'm not like, I don't know a lot about painting or anything, but since they're little kids, I just Googled some arts and crafts each week. Didn't know the language completely. And when I started, the kids were walking all over me. And I went from teaching once a week to twice to 3 to 4 times a week because I loved it and I felt like I found my passion. So I'd say that whole experience of staying there for a year, leaving my family, learning a new language, becoming part of a new culture, and making really meaningful relationships with people and even some of the kids that I keep in touch with. So that was awesome. And I'd say my whole year abroad in Brazil was a success, and particularly doing the community service. So teaching kids and teaching adults English was just inspiring, and I felt like even doing a few fun crafts really spread joy in the community, and they gave me smiles, and it just spread all over. So I had a wonderful time.